Recording in progress.
All right. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, October the 18th, one day before October 19th, the crash of 87 date. Don't think that's going to be happening this year. At least I certainly hope not. But welcome to Make HOAG Money, the chance for everybody to help me make money. And congratulations to Joe Drinnen, past step 2 and now trading live. Congratulations, Joe. Very happy to hear about that. All right. This is the CFTC disclaimer. It states that there's a lot of risk in trading futures. We should all know that, and we should only be using capital that we can't afford to lose, which is what I call risk capital. But you don't have to do that. You can always succeed in the trading combine and let Top Step put the risk capital up for you. This is extremely important to remember that what we are doing here is for educational purposes only. We're not suggesting the purchase or sale of anything that you're doing to match ours. There is no performance expected. And any performance is certainly not necessarily indicative of future results. Hypothetical and simulated performance results have certain limitations. You're not in an actual market. You're not in the live queue. And there's no accountability, no responsibility, no rules, and no consequences for your actions in a simulated account. We are trading in a funded account. We're going to be trading micros. But it's just important to remember that the ease of the decision making when there's nothing on the line is much different when you do have some skin in the game. We're not going to be suggesting or representing any positive or negative results through this situation. The rules of Make HOAG Money are quite simple. Kindness and respect are expected above everything. There's always differences of opinions and different ways to look at markets. You're going to have a couple of people enabled to talk if they'd like to. Everybody's going to be involved in the decisions in the context of the things that you're thinking about doing and the trades you're thinking about taking is going to be helpful. If you are enabled to speak, you will be able to show your charts and discuss what you're seeing on your charts as we try and efficiently try and make decisions and vote for these trades. We're going to use the chat rooms in YouTube as well as the Zoom room to discuss the trades. We're going to focus on the E-mini S&Ps. We're going to vote in the Zoom meeting using the polling system, and I still have to update some of the questions and things for the polling. We don't have to trade at all. We're not going to trade just to trade. We're not going to be taking any losing trades, which is, of course, a joke. We all know that we are going to be taking losses if we are going to be trading, and we have to learn to accept those and then move on. And of course, any feedback on Make HOAG Money is vital. We are adding next week 2 more sessions. We're going to be doing on Mondays and Wednesdays the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock hour in the S&Ps, so we can catch the closings. And we're going to continue to do the 8:20 to 9:20 approximately on Tuesday and Thursday. So 4 Make HOAG Moneys every week. And doesn't that just make everybody excited? Let's take a look at the charts. All right. So, as we were just discussing on the market forecast, we've got the S&Ps in an area of greater importance, the weekly kickoff high. Okay, the market has taken a look up to it. Relatively close. It was within $2, within 8 ticks of it, and now it's started to kind of come back off a little bit. We know that we have overnight inventory to the long side. We've had overnight inventory to the long side. I'm going to put this on there just to mark where settlement looks like. We have settlement down here. Overnight longs continue to get paid. We added open interest. Volume wasn't great in futures, but it was a little higher on the New York Stock Exchange. We've got overnight inventory to the long side again, and we're up against an important inflection level. So we've got, I think, a decent opportunity to look for something to trade, something to do early in the session today, because we've got the price so close to an important inflection level. Right. Bob, you can, I think when they show up in your spam folder, I think you can say not spam, and then they won't show up in your spam folder. Good morning, JD. Good to see you. Vince, good morning. Lukash, good to see you. Uh, Joe, yeah, Joe, you're successful in the trading combine, trading live. So happy for you. That's wonderful. Um, all right. Do we have any victims that would like to talk? If so, just let me know in chat, or you can raise your hand in the attendees, and we'll get into it. First thing, are we going to be taking the opening range trade? We're out of balance. We're at an important inflection level. I'm going to just send the poll out here and say, do we take the opening range trade? We're out of balance at near an important inflection level. I'm willing to take the risk even for more than 5 points on this. We've got 54% participation already, and 79% say yes. There's the poll, 79% saying yes. So we will do that. We will see if we can't get the opening range trade here. Let me make sure I've got the chart right here. Opening range trade. All right. Looks like we've got 2 of them on there. We're going to take one off. We'll watch that 1 minute chart for the opening range when it happens. We're about 4 minutes from the open, 3 minutes from the open. It's been a couple of weeks, or at least a week since we had Make HOAG Money. I hope everybody has been trading well. Good morning, Chris. Lacey says good morning too. She is currently sitting right on the forbidden couch. All right, we got 3 minutes to go here. No volunteers today, huh? I understand. I understand. Ben says only to the downside. You like the idea that we're up against that inflection level, huh, Ben? We have come a long way. My brother is, I don't know. I don't know where he is. I've missed him the last couple of days. He's been kind of busy doing a couple of things. I will certainly let him know that you were asking about him, Melanie. Maybe I should text him. I don't know what I did with my phone. Where's the phone? Where's the phone? Oh, there it is. Hi, Tyler. Glad you're here. So what we're doing here is we are setting up for the opening range trade. And the opening range trade is when the first minute from 8:30 to 8:31 is done, whichever side the price breaks out of that first minute range, we're going to go with it. And we've got 37.78 here is an important inflection level that we've established. It's a naked point of control. So we're coming into the opening range here. We're going to be trading micros. Mr. Hoyt, good to see you. Ben, I think we're late to share anything that quickly. Do you want me to let you speak, Ben? All right, you're coming in. All right, you're muted, but you can speak now.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but like when you join as a panelist, everything goes blank and it kind of reloads and changes size and all that. So it takes a second where you kind of can engage.
For sure. Thank you.
Glad you're back.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back. Good to be with everybody. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, it's late. Yeah, I can't share anything, but we're just coming into the overnight high. I just would recommend if we're going to do an opening range to the long side. You got the VPOC above it. There's also a TPO. C, the TPO one at 78, volume at 80, and then from 10.6, there's a value area high, so at 83. So, there might be some pushback because it kind of maybe gets through there. So far, it's kind of low confidence. Yeah, that was just my thoughts. Also, on the regular trading hours, we kind of bumped up against a downward 20 moving average, so that sort of can be a little rough going through too.
Got it.
Move. So just the long looks a little tricky.
It always does when you're buying the high, doesn't it?
It'd be one of those where I wanted to clear it and then come down and resistance becomes support. That's my thought there.
All right, so 70 half and 75, 76 to the upside. I'm not real big on the idea of going long either, but we're going to try the opening range trade. Either direction. We're all set. We're a tick above the first minute. We're a tick below the first minute. Whichever one goes, we take. We got exactly a 5-point opening range. And now we've got a kind of a weak overnight high here, right? Okay, we're short. Ben, you got your wish. Wow. Take a slippage on that. Something tells me we weren't the only ones.
It's been a lot back and forth through the open. And indicative of a low confidence so far. Of course, that could change.
Do we want to? I'm thinking of going the other way now. Well, we got 78. I mean, this should be resistance up here, like you were saying, Ben, right?
Yeah. The thing is, too, on the short, did you get stopped out?
Yeah. Yep. Just took us out.
So when it had already made the poor high. When we went short, so that was a little bit of a working against us because we went short after making a poor high, which unfinished auction typically.
And now it's finished.
Steven said something about bumping against the weekly kickoff high, and I don't have that on my chart, so I'm not sure.
It's 70. It's 37.78.
Oh, okay.
In essence, the TPO point of control from the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
We're short. Now we're going to stop looking at the 1 minute chart.
So one good thing on the short side as well, we have, gosh, this gap is like 70 points or something, 68 points. We got a lot of anomalies in the overnight.
So here's the anomalies.
So I guess there's, different ways to interpret that, but it just is not as confident a move up.
Right. No, that's what Ben is saying is when you have a profile that has a lot of anomalies, it doesn't have a lot of confidence. Where's my stop, Ben?
Well, we've been back and forth with the open a lot, so you could just get snagged if you just put it behind that in the VPOC, but 71 to still over 3 points. I don't know, I'd say maybe above the intraday value area high, that's where it starts to attenuate.
Here?
Which is at, yeah, I have it at 75.
We'll split the difference.
So what's your target?
I'm thinking overnight point of control. But I'm not liking it. Which means it's probably perfect.
There's an overnight value area high. Now I went back to the 6th and 5th and just marked out a bunch of references to the left. And I've just been seeing these, like when we were way down on the lows and had to go all the way back to 2020. They still worked. They still seem to be in play.
Yeah, and visuals, right?
Yeah.
So you like overnight value high?
Well, the one on 10.6 is at 64 and didn't quite make it down there. So I imagine it might get a little bit of a reaction. There's also a volume shoulder right there in the overnight. Slight bump out.
Mr. Hoyt, you want to talk? You want to join us? I know, Joe, you're a busy man these days. Here we get Matt in here, and there you go. I'm gonna text my brother, tell him you guys are thinking about him.
Good morning, trader.
Mr. Hoyt, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Good to have you back home.
Good to be back, thank you. I've missed everybody, my family.
right here, we're kind of like in no man's land.
Yeah.
I feel like if we can get above that 3780, 3820 is a chip shot. No problem.
Yeah.
I just don't know, are we going to go down and retrace to the 37, 3740, 37, whatever? I just don't know. You know, we had Goldman come out. The earnings have been positive. There's no news releases that really matter today. So I feel like we're going to, you know, I feel like a lot of juice already happened. But,
Right. I
why
mean,
stop?
you look at this 30-minute chart. You know, here's where we started the week. It's been a straight shot. We've got to have some longs in this market that are going to get a little bit nervous.
Right.
When is the problem?
Exactly. So
I'm going to try to exit at that overnight value area high on the 6th and try and catch a bounce.
Now that's 64, right?
Yeah, I got my order at 64 quarter. Hopefully it doesn't just blow right through it, but I'm just going to try to exploit some of this price action. Here we go. Okay, I'm in, and darn it, it blew through it, but I'm going to risk that swing low at 60 quarter.
Rick says hello to everybody. He overslept. He just got out of bed. I think he was doing some Monday drinking.
Oh,
It's as good a day as any other.
They're pressing it. I might get hit here.
All right, I just took our profit because there's value high from the overnight. Not that confident in a short here. But that makes us whole again, so we can start over.
you know, one interesting thing I noticed is back in early September, we had that huge up run from September 6th to the 13th. So if you measure that move, the move from the bottom to the top where we are now is the same height. So if price starts to fail here, you know, maybe that's the highest it's going to swing.
I see what you're saying. So here's what Matt's looking at. He's looking at this high here to this low.
Exactly.
So you take that measurement and you go bang.
Yeah, and it's
The low from
right
Thursday
there.
to right where we are. God, I didn't even notice that. And still, I put that weekly kickoff high right there.
Right. So there's two reasons, two things that are interesting in the same spot, right? Like,
And unrelated, really. The weekly
Yeah,
kickoff is it the last naked point of control before we take out these highs.
right. Interesting coincidence, huh?
Nice little quinky dink there.
So we'll see if that brings any love to the downside. I mean, you know, I'm concerned about getting short into all these positive earnings and no real news releases coming out.
See, that's God works in strange ways. That's why you came back into my life, Matt.
Right. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things right here that's like, okay, let's wait and see for price to show its hand. Because if price gets above this, I mean, wow, we could really cruise to the upside.
Right. Well, let me cancel my stop there. So, well, we've got ourselves back to even now. I think we wait. We just see if we can get another opportunity up near that high. Because I think the execution of the day is going to be in this area. Which we may have already seen it. Or we're going to come back through there and pop with a vengeance. We do have... So industrial production came out 5.3 higher, over the adjusted from last month. Capacity utilization is 0.3 higher than it was last. It's 0.3 higher than the expectation. Industrial production, higher. Now we're just waiting for the housing market index. The National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index, which shouldn't be that powerful, but it's right at 9 o'clock.
I think it's that long at 67.
What's that?
I
You did?
That long, yeah, it didn't, it wasn't quite the bounce I wanted, but I got locked in like, it's going to go. But I'm glad I'm out now. But it sure gave me a bit of heat at first.
Yeah, it's a good out. Yeah. So we got within 5 ticks of that 78 number. Didn't get there. Just had to take us out of that short from the opening range. Coming to VWAP here at 37.51, 52. We're going to get all those anomalies, Ben.
Mm-hmm. So even though it's traded through it at 51 quarter, there's the high day from 928, the low day from 10.6 at 50.75. Then there's the overnight VPOC at 50. So there's a lot of junk down here. What might get hung up on. So I'd imagine it go to it, but it also might be good for a bounce. So that's just how I trade, though.
Where's your best trade location from that information?
Probably be conservative. I'd want to be, at the VPOC or maybe part of the volume at the TPOC, which is at 48 quarter. It just depends on the kind of entry, of how aggressive I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's the overnight VWAP, which I don't know how significant it is, but it's it's a level at 47.5, which is also the R3. Resistance becomes support type of thing. I don't know. Just in that whole area between 51 quarter and 47.5, there's just I think
a plethora of information.
Yeah. And it got hung up in there in the overnight too. So it's a lot of TPOs wide. That's why we have our TPOC in there.
Delta. Negative 3,200. Is that correct? Yep. So we've got Delta congruent with the direction overall. You right down here, minus 2,800.
So I'm going to short the intraday value area low. At 63.75. Well, it's just a tick or two below.
So,
and I'm going to risk 67.5.
We've got this sitch. Why is it not loading those? Well, this would be an island top because there was an accumulation here. It traded up to it, traded away from it. Now we've got what appears to be an island bottom, gapped to it, gapped away from it. This is an island bottom, and with all this excess at the low in the longer time frame, the nuance on this is like we should be looking for opportunities to buy strength or to buy weakness. I mean, buy weakness, not strength, weakness. As long as this gap remains open, but that could take us a long way.
See, I got filled there.
Where's the top of the gap? 37.40?
Well, if you're looking at this one, 37.25.
37.25.
If you're looking at this one, 37.02 half. No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of where yesterday's close, right? I mean, okay.
36.89 quarters yesterday's close.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, we're basically 100 higher for yesterday's close.
Right.
Right. So, and basically just open. So, volume wise overnight, the Goldman Sachs earnings, other earnings came out positive. So maybe the rally already happened and it's time to sell. I mean, I just don't see a reason to sell.
Well, and that's, I mean, we could sit here and seek a reason. Right. Right. Well, I'm sure we could come up with a whole bunch of them. The only reason I see to sell is because we have been unable to get above the weekly kickoff high.
Right. We're kind of ticking lower on the day so far.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we took out the low from 8:15. So, okay, we made a lower low finally. Barely. I mean, on a 3-minute chart, that's, kind of skinny, but hey, it's a reason. Right. I mean, I'd rather, if we're going to just dribble lower here, you said, try to buy weakness around 37.30 or something like that.
I'm out of that short at 60 quarter.
Nice.
Thank you.
Hey, Anne Marie's watching on YouTube. Anne Marie is back. It's good to see you, Anne Marie. All you Hurricaneans getting back in the business. I've been worried about you, Anne Marie. We've all been worried about you. I know Crudelli's okay. I haven't had any direct contact with him. Hopefully he's doing all right too. So, all right, if my hypothesis number one, good, thank you, Anne Marie. Tell if you get the chance to talk to him again, tell him I said hi, and I'm glad he's alive, glad he's good. Scary, scary storm. So, getting back to my hypothesis, if we're going to create an island bottom here, we're gonna have to, I think, be patient, look for some sort of daytime frame reference lining up with something back here in order for us to find some sort of structure to lean on. Look at this. 2 TPO anomaly down here. Looks like we're heading towards But I don't want to jump in front of this either, because this is a major, a major inflection level that we failed at. By all rights, we should be looking for shorts.
Okay. There you go. There's our reason.
Right. But now, I think we're in the dust here. Volume is dying as we get lower and lower here. That's one thing I'm looking at.
Typically price seeks to fill the gap as quickly as it can. Is that the usual? Like, if the gap doesn't get filled soon,
Then we go in the direction of the gap, which would have us looking for longs.
Right. So the gap is so big, for us to fill that and wait around for that to happen, geez, that's 100 points.
Right, and it's, an opportunity missed on the way down. But
Exactly.
my hypothesis is we've failed at the upper higher the inflection level, weekly kickoff 37, 78, 80, whatever it is.
Right.
But the other nuance is with this island bottom, that's powerful. And the thing that sticks out to me most, huge excess off the low. Price got too cheap. Sellers ran away. Buyers scooped it up as fast as they could. And that's the low. Now we've got an island bottom. It's kind of funny how this, I don't know why this chart isn't doing it. Let me get this one up.
So that area between 51 quarter and 47 half, it's rejected out of there. So that was that buy area.
And that was that anomaly right there.
Yeah. I took a long at the overnight VPOC, and I should have followed my own advice and gone more conservative at the R3, the overnight VWAP I was talking about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were looking at this whole area down here for a long.
Yeah, and I don't know. I tend to be too aggressive in the early morning. It worked. I took a couple points. But,
because you love the smell of napalm in the morning.
I think that's it. Yeah, just something about the battlefield.
It smells like victory.
Victory.
So here's what I was. Okay, so it was pointed out. Kevin Laffey, I think, was pointing out that we had created an island top here, but we had an island bottom here, island top, island bottom. What happens next? I don't think I've seen this. It's like a double island bottom. We should have a luau.
So, Hoag, your TPOs with excess on the bottom from when the big sell-off is.
Yes.
Does that mean price will revisit that excess, or does that mean no, that excess will pay?
This is the end of a downside auction.
I see. Okay.
A downside auction that got way too cheap. Right. Sellers backed off and ran away. Buyers scooped up as much as they could, as quickly as they could, and then the market closes on the highs.
Okay.
And then the next day, of course, we open. We have to return back and do some repair down here, because it's not just going to go straight higher. It's got to freak everybody out and say, "Oh, I guess the rally's over."
Right.
But no, that's certainly not the case as we see it right now. Do we think that that we may have put in a pretty decent low here near the anomaly down there? Because I'm willing to take a look at that. Let's relaunch that. Do we want to look for a long against our current low day session? The votes are being tabulated. So
we got a new TPO coming up in a minute.
And What
I
else
like
is
to
coming
try to
up?
imagine, the canvas of my mind, kind of paint the bars, what's it going to look like.
So housing index as well. And
So
you're looking at this all as excess up here, aren't you?
me?
Yeah.
Well, we've come quite a ways from the open. It does taper at the top. It is a weak high, in my opinion, because of that TPOC back at 7 and the weekly kickoff high at 78. But, many times those things get revisited later in the day, So I think there could be more take back here of the overnight inventory. Doesn't even have to close the gap, but I just think that there's a lot of what I call mailbox money. People who were long yesterday holding it overnight, woke up this morning.
I love it. Mailbox money.
And they, this is theoretical. I have no idea. I've only traded from in front of my computer. I've never been on the floor and all that stuff. So I'm just wondering if people come in and
Well, that might actually be a blessing for you.
sell some, take some off, or get out, because look, we woke up with a,
Big jump.
plus side.
Right. So we get 64% looking for an opportunity near the long here. Okay, new TPO. I like Anne Marie's idea. I'd like to catch the stops that are probably just below the low of A here.
What do you mean catch them?
Well, if we've got other folks that are looking for opportunities to buy any kind of structure at the low here today, you're probably going to have a few people buying the lows here, and you know where their stops are going to be. They're going to be just below the low of A.
So that phrase mailbox money comes from days as a realtor, when you might get a check for a referral or something like that unexpectedly. Just
A windfall.
windfall, yeah. What about if you believe it's going to the lows again?
Uh-huh.
What about your volume shoulder trade ideas?
Right here.
Right here. Yeah, I think that might be an idea.
Well, we should have held it all the way to that point of control. The original idea.
Well, I'm going to try it. This is your trade. So I'm in at 57.5, and I'm going to risk inside the other shoulder at 61.5. But I'll also bail if it looks like it's going to really pop.
Sorry, Federico, I didn't mean to rat you out there. Yeah, the number came out at 38. They were looking for 43. It's going to be a rough week for the housing sector this week, isn't it?
Oh, wow, it came within one ticket stopping me out. Now it's like, do I bail or hang in there? No, I'm out.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. I might try it again here at half back, the A midpoint, and short, and then just risk above the VPOC. It'll fill me.
I've got VPOC at 37.62.
Today's VPOC?
Yeah. Oh, this is micros. Sorry.
Oh, right. Okay. That might have been too slow.
Book map showing orders liquidity at 37.65 according to Joe D. Thank you, Joe. Hi, James Hanson.
Okay, I got filled.
How many should I sell? So we can knock this sucker down. 1,000?
Oh. I had exit at 57. It went to 57 quarter.
Of course.
That happens to me a lot. I don't know how to fix it. I mean, I guess I could always just like, okay, where you think it ought to be, put it one tick, but then every time I do that, then it starts going I don't know. It's just weird.
It knows what scares you. It's a poltergeist.
There's something metaphysical about trading sometimes, I tell you.
They're here. If you take it, you shouldn't.
Every time this happens, though, I think of, okay, I got filled there. So
Nice.
Worked out.
Nice job.
I always think of, always too late, though. Oh, HOAG would get out with 10%.
Well,
by the time I think that, it's already pulled away from there.
Well, I'm a longer time frame than you, and usually, if I think price is going to a certain level, I'm putting my profit target short of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna just get my bite out of the middle and move on.
Right.
I think I bought the dead low once. Once. Hey! Rick got up. Joe, Anne Marie is watching in YouTube this morning. Anne Marie, Joe is asking for you to one of these days talk about the huge influence options have on market dealers hedging their risk gamma. One of these days, we'll do that. Yeah, James is agreeing. You try not to be too greedy when you get the position. So, Anne Marie says, "Sure thing, Joe. Sure thing." So, what I for those of you that don't know, I have a 10% rule. If I have a distinct profit target of, for example, 40 ticks on something, which basically is 10 points in the S&Ps, if I get within 10% of that profit target, if I'm within 4 ticks of it, I'm allowed to just take the profit at that time and call it a complete full profit target hit. And I try to be very true to that 10% rule.
Just get it on the green, right?
Yep. If I'm risking 4 points and I got 9 and I'm trying to get 10 and I don't think it's going to make it, just take it. Be happy. Move on. Well, we're not getting our opportunity down here, are we? We're still sitting here with a long attempt. Look at this. It's an anomaly down there that we went and got. See how smart you are, Ben?
I don't know about that. Maybe only on the days I'm in Zoom.
Well, well, you mentioned, there's a lot of anomalies in the overnight session.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to pull this just so we're not.
I'm gonna short this VPOC real quick and risk the B high. I may get smashed, but I'm in.
Still in?
Yeah, I'm just going for 61 if I can get it. It's actually may even be a stretch, but
Ben's putting on a clinic today.
isn't that a sports term? I'm kind of a sports atheist. I used to play sports when I was younger, but I don't know about stuff.
I would think, yeah. I mean, if there's like, some coach that's putting on a clinic for kids or something like that.
Oh, I see.
There were some guys in the S&P pit that used to, they were like all good friends and they all stood close to each other. And if somebody was really in tune with the market, they would all rib them and say, "It looks like you're putting on a clinic today. Like this is how it's done."
Well, no sooner you say that than it's coming towards me here.
I should just shut up. Joe, I'll answer your question while we're kind of keeping an eye on this here. Joe's question is, how do you determine your stop? I'm struggling with that question with my present strategy. It's always a bit of a mystery, but I'm always thinking if I were thinking about a position, are there other traders that are looking at it as well? So if that's the case, then I'll be thinking, all right, if I think there's a lot of other traders in that position, where are their stops going to be? So when we were looking at the low of A for an opportunity for a long, I said, I'd rather, if we're going to see some longs down there, we know their stops are going to be just past the low of A period. And I would look for that opportunity to get into the trade when everybody else gets stopped out. So let's say, I was going to buy it at 45 even. Well, where's the next kind of real risk level that I would be thinking about putting it at? Well, how about somewhere below the halfway mark from last night? So now I'm looking at 6 points of risk. Do I recognize that if I do get the long and it does go my way, I've got, 10, 12 points of potential profit target in the trade? Yeah, I would say so, because I'm looking for the other extreme of the range, or at least point of control. which TPO point of control is here. So if I'm looking at that and I'm saying, well, I might need a little better trade location, then I'll try and get even closer to my point of invalidation. The stop is always chosen first, Joe. And then I try and get into a good trade location based on where the stop is. Ben, you still putting on this clinic?
Yeah, it's been a tough one. I got it now. I'm out.
All right.
But boy, that was tough. Look, now it's stabbing further down. That happens to me a lot too.
I'm sure that the calming tones of my voice were able to help you stay calm during that trade. And
By the way, and I bet people on Zoom and YouTube will second that. You do have a very reassuring, fatherly tone. I think you do great at reading like audiobooks and stuff.
Well, then I'd actually have to read a book.
That's true.
I
think you have a good radio voice, even.
Well, I've heard that. I've got a perfect face for radio. Anne Marie, as I listen, folks, what John just said is paramount. Find the stop first. And then try and get into a location that you can manage the risk. So we're going to now we're headed back down here to the low, and we're going to make all these plans to try and get to a long down here. And we're going to look at the stop first, and we're going to put a good trade location, and we're going to get whacked anyway. And that's just the way it is. When you put on a trade, expect something to happen. Don't know what, but make sure that you're thinking, well, if I'm thinking here, I know that there's going to be some stops if other people are thinking that. And where are their stops going to be? I want to get in when those stops are hit. When we were in, Matt, I'm sure you've seen this happen where you have a local that's standing around you and, he buys them at 9. And now it's 8 offer and he's buying 7.5s. And now it's 7 offer and he's bidding for 6.5s. And now it's 6 offer and he's bidding for 5.5s. And he buys the market all the way down until it gets down through the lower even. And at that point, he's green, throwing up and just trying to get out of those trades. We stood next to those guys, and when they got out, we took those trades because almost every time it was the dead ass low.
Right? Getting out of those losers, have an idea because they're looking at something, a number, because they subscribe to a service or a prior low that they have on the 1 hour charts. And it's near a moving average, and it's near a trend line, and all these things. And we all know these levels, okay? So the discipline comes in where price gets down there, more and more volume comes in. The pit gets super loud because everybody's doing something. It's like place your bets. The race is about to start, right? So all the smart locals know that if they press that level and give their order to the broker behind them, like probably be like, hey, the level's at 9 even. Mm-hmm. He'd be like, Cooley, work 8 even on 100.
Right.
Don't show. And then Praz goes 100 at 9 even. And the whole pit goes offer and sells it right down. Everyone trying to buy those 9 evens gets scared for their life. They're looking for a place to get out. They lose a point on the trade right into the catcher's mitt. Prasnewski pays 8 even on 100. All of a sudden, he's 8.5 bid, and the market's off to the races.
Yep.
So a lot of times, that's why you fish out those stops, because you know you're going to catch the bounce. It takes a lot of discipline and patience, and it's, kind of scary because you're getting like prices coming at you like a silver bullet. So typically you're trained to move out of the way when that's happening, not step in front of it.
Speaking of bounce, I just bought the intraday value very low, and if this works out, I want to show you why, like in a minute.
Value.
Okay. No, you're good. We're just telling stories.
Volume value.
Pardon me?
The volume value low?
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
54.75. And I'm hoping to get 59.
So tomorrow we've got earnings, Tesla and IBM. Tesla's obviously a whopper.
Yes.
They're the biggest kid on the block by far. So, I'm not saying the market's waiting around for that, but it's certainly in the back of people's minds. And then
Housing starts and permits tomorrow.
yeah, right. Housing starts should be lower. I mean, wouldn't they be with the rates going higher?
And existing home sales on Thursday.
Okay. And then nothing else major, I mean, that I'm aware of. Tell me if I'm wrong for this week.
Philly Fed on Thursday. Existing home sales, misleading indicators on Thursday, which is usually not a big mover.
Right.
But Beige Book comes out tomorrow, so we know now we're 2 weeks from the FOMC. So everybody's going to be saying, well, it's slowed down because everybody's waiting for the FOMC.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like when we wait for the FOMC, the market rallies, so the Fed can hike the rate and then we can smack it down.
Right. Yeah, because everybody's waiting for the bad news, and if there's no bad news, the market just tends to roll higher.
Right. So, okay. So maybe we'll roll higher until then. I don't know. I mean, it's certainly not the story today. We're kind of doing nothing, just gathering energy. But, price is kind of stretched. We made this big run. Maybe it's time to take a breath and gather our energy for the next leg.
All right. Well,
Right, like you said, the market didn't get above that 78. Well, so far it's not even doing a good job getting above, what do you have the volume point of control at? Somebody said 67 or something?
Okay, I got stopped out.
well, the 37.78's weekly kickoff high, which is the volume, the TPO point of control from here on the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's prominent. So, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 TPOs wide. That's a lot of comfort there. That's why, markets tend to trade to those prominent points of control.
Mm-hmm.
And, look where it traded to. I mean, within 6, 7 ticks of it.
Right.
And the inability of it to even get to it, it does say something.
Mm-hmm.
And, so now we're getting a little bit of a pullback, and I'm going to be patient today. Look for the right thing to kind of come my way. And here's the overnight. And then, if we can't close this gap at some point today, there's going to be a long in this market. And that's a big gap.
Yeah. So let's say, thinking future, so let's say we don't close the gap, maybe price works its way down, we just have some kind of 40-point day today, and, Tesla comes out tomorrow, they beat earnings, we start moving to the upside. I'm expecting some continuation, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
Last through that 37.80, and then 38.20 is a chip shot above that.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of space up there. A lot of space.
I still liked it, and I bought it again at the B open. I may get stopped out again now, but yeah, it's just too whippy. I just got stopped out again.
Okay.
It's too whippy.
All right, take a break.
Yeah.
Let go of the venom.
Can I show you why I like that? And it may still work here. It's just being real choppy, In fact, right here might be a good long with risking the A low, but like you said, take a break, because I can see I'm starting to get in that.
You can show it real quick if you want to. I do have to get moving though.
Oh, it's kind of late. Well, basically the idea, one of my plans was if we balance up here just to trade inflection points and rotations, and we have kind of a big sort of D-shaped volume profile on the day. And where the B open is at the low of that. So I was just looking for a move back to the middle or higher of that towards the BPOC based on that value extreme. So I won't share my screen right there. I'm just describing it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I do have to run, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully there was something well, at least we made 3 ticks. 1 win, 1 loss. just about even, so we're in good shape. We're getting down to that 45 level here. Finding that a little bit interesting. But trade well, everybody. I'll see you for the Coach's Playbook at 11:30 and back again for the recap at 3. God bless everybody. It's good to see everybody. It's good to be back with you. Looking forward to seeing your success. Trade well, everyone.
Thanks, Hope.
Bye, thank you.